Hey guys, what did the binary load lifter say to the new droid at work?
No idea.
This job has its ups and downs. And 2026 is here!
New year, same Jimmy.
Hello, explorers, and welcome to the only international Star Wars podcast covering almost half of the world, but only 0.5% of the galaxy. I'm Charlie, and as always, thank you for joining us for our first show of the new year, wherever you are in the Star Wars universe.
Yes, welcome to Explore the Force, where we cover all things Star Wars. I'm Jimmy, and as always, welcome back or welcome along if you are new.
And finally, I'm Jack, and if you're joining us today for episode 138 and you get a chance, please don't forget to give us a cheeky rating and a like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Jimmy, how's your week been? How's your Christmas been?
Well, I'm trying not to break down emotionally. Got a lot happening as we record on Sundays. That means my over 2-week break is over. I've got to go back to the real world tomorrow on Monday. We have a huge divisional matchup tonight against the Baltimore Ravens, and being a Steelers fan, being a fan means that reality says they're going to lose, but as a fan, you're holding out hope to win. And so I'm emotional, man. I'm ready to talk some Star Wars because I need to quit and forget about all the real life crap that's going on right now. But other than that, everything's great.
How about you, Charlie?
I'm doing good. The Christmas tree is down, the decorations are away, the loft has been reorganized. I reached the 2nd of January and I was sick of looking at it. It needed to go back in the box. I've had a great Christmas, a busy Christmas, and like you, Jimmy, I'm feeling very emotional about the start of the new year. I feel like I've been thrown back into being an adult and being a grown up again. So I'm happy to be sat here and talking some Star Wars. Jack, how are you doing? I feel like you had such a nice Christmas.
Yes, we went away to a place called Banff in the hot springs. Absolutely gorgeous place. It was like Hoth with the snow. And yeah, probably like you two and everyone else that's listening to this podcast, that feeling of dread going back to work or back to real life. But yeah, at a lot of Christmas dinners we do. And speaking of Christmas dinner, what's the fun facts you got for us, Charlie?
I am back with another fact for you guys. Don't you worry if you've got potatoes left over from Christmas. You can always spray paint them and turn them into asteroids for your figure displays. Yes, it is true. In The Empire Strikes Back, the design team actually used painted potatoes for the space rocks due to time and budget constraints. Is anyone else hungry? Because I'm kind of hungry now.
Just remember to check on those asteroids. Right, let's head into this week's Force Encounters.
For my ally is the Force.
Everyone sit down and shut up because my Force encounters are the best. My Christmas presents were the best this year. My Christmas presents beat all of your Christmas presents. Thank you. As always, it's not a Christmas with my wonderful partners without something Jar Jar Binks related. And the first thing I would like to show off, if you're not watching this podcast and listening, I request that you switch over to the visual just for 5 minutes of my time. Here is my very amazing original 1999 Jar Jar Binks vest. We've got this lovely navy blue print that says Jar Jar, repeated some nice squares with his face on. It's very shiny, very noughties, very 90s. Probably the ugliest thing that I own out of all of the clothes that I wear. I will be wearing it for every show for the foreseeable future. I hope that's okay with everyone. Looks really good with a Jar Jar Binks t-shirt. Good combo. I got another figure to add to my Jar Jar collection. This one, its arms move up and down, guys. Wow. Ooh.
Nice.
And this is like probably one of my holy grails of Jar Jar Binks collecting. I remember there was a meme made about this where it was like, has anyone got the time? And somebody pulled this out. and the amount of people that sent it to me, and I have been looking for it for months. This is the Jar Jar Binks head watch with a Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber case, and the head flips up to reveal the time. It is in its original packaging. It has never been opened.
That's awesome.
I will be opening it. I should probably do an unboxing video.
You're gonna open
No.
that?
Leave it sealed. I've
You
heard
gotta-
collectors
No.
screaming at you.
Mm-mm.
Do it.
I want to hold that. I want to wear it. I want to have it.
Oh my gosh. Go out and find another one and
Yeah.
then open that one.
The way the two of you look physically uncomfortable, Liam, I'm going to cut
I'm-
into that plastic.
Oh, I'm not
I'm going to
watching
take
that
all of
video.
those insides out.
Savage. Absolute savage.
Animal.
And my last gorgeous present, I recently got my grandma's vinyl player that she passed down to me, and Nick very kindly bought me. This is the London Philharmonic Orchestra performing a selection of music from Star Wars, and this is the vinyl of it.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome. That's very nice.
It is absolutely beautiful. It has side one has like some of the like best Star Wars, like the most classic ones, and then side two is the theme from 2001: Space Odyssey, Battle of the Planets Mars from like the Planet Suite, and yeah, I just think it's really, really beautiful. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I'm really excited. The artwork on the front is gorgeous. So, as per usual, I was spoiled absolutely rotten this Christmas. Jimmy, what did you get for Christmas? What did Santa bring you?
You know, funnily enough, I didn't get a ton of Star Wars stuff, which is, I say that with caveat because I never stopped getting Star Wars stuff. I didn't get it specifically for Christmas, but I got, the podcast is a big focus of ours, obviously going into 2026. So I got this awesome new stuff for it. But what was really cool over Christmas was both my nephews came over and we did some Legoing together. And then we sat down and we watched Star Wars Rebels. We watched 2 episodes of that. Then we'd watch 2 episodes of the Young Jedi Adventures. And we just flipped back and forth because I got my nephew a big stuffy of Nubs. And
Nice.
I was like, maybe he's a little too old for that, because I don't know what kid, I'm not a parent, so I don't really know what kids are into. And I deal with high school kids. They're not into anything because they hate everything. But I think I sent you guys a photo on our WhatsApp, group chat of my nephew holding his Nubs while putting together Star Wars Lego. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, this is what it's all about right here. So we got to do that a couple days after Christmas. So that's a pretty cool memory. And again, I didn't get a ton of stuff. Now I will say that the old 5-0 is coming around the corner, and I guarantee you that, I've already pre-ordered some stuff. So I'll have some stuff then too. What about you, Jack?
Nice. You certainly will have some stuff. Same as you, to be honest, man. I didn't really get a fat lot of Star Wars stuff. The only Star Wars thing that I actually got was a ramen bowl with chopsticks and a soup spoon. But that was pretty much it. But obviously, because we were going away at Christmas, I had to save up a lot of money. But I'm sure there's plenty of other listeners out there that are exactly the same as either me and you, Jimmy, or Charlie on the other hand, with a whole boatload of Star Wars goodness. But yeah, no, we'll see. Speaking of the Star Wars goodness, let's head over to Batu and see what news we've got coming out of there.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, this sneak preview probably would be the only chance to see the Emperor.
All right. Multiple sources are saying that Disney Plus has suddenly replaced the final show in Star Wars timeline. Following a confirmed report of its placement within the galaxy far, far away, its grand scheme of events, Polygon confirmed in a report that the 9th Jedi from Star Wars Visions Season 1 is set 1,000 years after the events of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, at a time when the Jedi Order has become nearly extinct. Its sequel, Child of Hope, from Visions Season 3, takes place less than a year after the events of the 9th Jedi, meaning that the last non-canon series and episode of Star Wars timeline, and therefore replaces its predecessor as the furthest out Star Wars episode on the timeline. So this is like, we know from when the Rise of Skywalker ends, that 1,000 years from now, we have that. And I know that we want to dive into this, but I think that maybe next week we're going to, because this is a full topic in on itself. Now, this news just came out. Was it last night or this morning?
this morning for me.
So what do you guys think about, like, I'm not going into a lot of detail because I do, like, again, I do believe that like this is like a full episode of conversation because
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about this? Like, Vision's canon? What's happening?
It's huge news. It's definitely huge news. You've got to be really careful whether they're calling it canon and legends. I think as well. Like you said, this is a topic for a whole show. I think. But yeah, my take on it is I was very, very surprised with them doing it so subtly. Maybe I mean, come on, you're not going to get anything past any Star Wars fans really. As soon as you get a snippet of anything, it's out there and it's exploding. But yeah, I think look forward to next week's show. We're going to really dive into this, and I'm interested to see what everyone else thinks. Charlie?
I'm really, really intrigued by this. I feel like Disney have a little bit of a habit of doing this, especially when it comes to Star Wars. They just sort of, excuse me, they sort of sneak things in and drop things in when you least expect it. And to make this specifically, this storyline, this kind of universe pocket of Visions canon, when the rest of Visions isn't canon and it's very explicitly written kind of with Star Wars, but outside of it. And yeah, I feel like we need to really kind of break this down because what do you mean there's now 1,000 years to play with between the Rise of Skywalker and this? Excuse me? Hello?
Yeah, that's bizarre to me too, because I don't want to get into this, but I want to get into this. Is it going to be like kind of how like everything, one of the reasons I'm not super pumped about Mando and Grogu movie is because I know I know what it's all leading up to. It's leading up to the sequels. I like the sequels, but I'm saying like we know where it ends. I mean, that's 1,000 years. It's not, the 30 or whatever we're playing with there, but it is very bizarre to me. I do think that this means this is coming out sooner than we thought, because why would they do this unless they were planning on dropping it?
Yeah, they're definitely up to something. Something is off. What other news we got, Charlie?
Well, speaking of things that feel off, I'm still waiting for anything to do with this Rey movie. And obviously, Daisy Ridley has been out and about doing press for We Bury the Dead. Supposedly very good. If you like your zombie movies, go and check it out. Speaking with Comic Book to promote her latest film, Ridley said that her Rey-centric film is still happening. I feel like I've been hearing a lot of this and not seeing much else. She said, I am 6 years older. I'm in a different moment. I think the story will be wonderful. She assured fans. She carried on by saying, I think the wait will be worthwhile. And even though she didn't offer much kind of regarding the plot or the exact status of the film, she said, I think it will be a discovery, as all roles are, of where Rey is when we meet her again. I know that I'm grasping at straws here. I know this, but I do think there is something to be said for the fact that it's implied that they've considered the growth of Rey as a person. Like 6 years is a long time, and it feels like an even longer time in the Star Wars universe. We've seen we saw how much Andor changed between season 1 and 2, and that was a year. That was 5 years. That was. I'm excited, but I'm really impatient at this point. How are you guys feeling about it?
Go ahead, Jack.
It's just more disappointing news, if I'm honest. I don't think we're going to get anything until Celebration next year, 2027, purely because 50th anniversary and all that good stuff would be a nice time to pass the torch on properly, I think. So, yeah, I think this year will be more. You'll probably hear this at least half a dozen, if not a dozen more times on this show and other shows, etc. Ridley's put out a little snippet, but nothing revealing. I think that's all we're going to get this year. Nothing's obviously set in concrete, but I think next year is when we start seeing something, if anything. Jimmy?
Yeah, so two things on this story. One, well, she was on something in the US. I think it was Good Morning America. I'm not sure. But they asked her, was it going to start filming soon? And she goes, perhaps.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that. That's different. And then I'm not going to say any names, but there's a podcast or a YouTuber out there that is usually pretty negative. And but she had some good points. Every once in a while, she catches me with her titles, and I watched it. And with her research, and it's not really her research, but the last 2 years, we have gotten announcements for the 2 movies that are coming out. So last year in January 2025, we got the announcement for Starfighter. Then it came to play. And then the year before that, we got the announcement for Mando and Grogu in January. And that came to play, And if they don't announce a movie soon, Like Jack, I think Jack, I think you're right. I do think that they're going to have something huge up their sleeves for Celebration 50th anniversary. I think they'd be crazy not to, but to continue having one movie a year pacing and continue to do that. This person, they may be onto something. Whereas, they talked about, we could hear something in the next few days about, and then does that tie into Ray? So it gives me hope that that's going to happen. That happens. Maybe, Jack, I think building off of what you said, Jack, let's say they announce the Ray and standalone film, right? It comes out. We know it's coming out the year after we get done with Celebration, year 51 of Star Wars. We're moving on in the 51st year of Star Wars, which is crazy to say. And that Celebration, they say, here's the concepts behind the Simon Kinberg trilogy or something like that. So I think it could be, maybe they're finally getting things in order and they're organized. And I don't know. I'm probably being hopeful because I really want this to happen. But I would love it. I would love it if we just could start moving forward. All the idiots out there who are going to hate on it could just get it out of their system, maybe. And like, we have so much to talk about, ramping up towards Mando and Grogu in a few months, which is crazy. And then as soon as that's over, getting ready for Starfighter, and then, just a movie a year. So I'm really excited for this news. And I really hope that, like you said, because, Jack, like your response exactly is like, well, this is disappointing because like it's a little bit of nothing. I hope that finally it's something, especially for Charlie's sake. She needs more Ray in her life.
Please.
A lot of the stuff that I've been seeing on the internet as well and reading, and I know it's just here saying you don't believe everything you read or see, is, and I understand why as well, because some of the points I've seen make sense, that Disney have lost a lot of money with live action Star Wars, a lot of money. They will easily recoup that with movies. So I think this year could be the last year maybe that we see as much Star Wars on the TV after this year, I think. I've still got all the other good stuff that's coming out, which we'll talk about later in this episode. But my point I'm getting at is I think Star Wars is going to probably stay towards the big screen, because you look at things like The Acolyte, that costs a lot of money, and to flop like it did.
Well, I would like to point out that the general figure estimated is that since Disney purchased Lucasfilm for about $4 billion in 2012, they've made just shy of about $12 billion in value from the Star Wars franchise. So that's a considerable return on their investment. I think it's important to remember that, especially things like The Mandalorian and when it came out, that made them a bank. But I think they've had a lot of bits and pieces to get through to get to this point where most of the loose ends are tied up and the playing field is kind of empty and ready for that straight down the line.
Yeah, because Jack, I kind of, with what you're saying, what both you guys are saying makes a ton of sense. I think that they're finally figuring out streaming. It only took them 6 years after COVID to realize you can't continue to make the money that you made, unless of course they recreate COVID and and then but I think it's going to be a more balanced attack. I think you're going to get a TV show and you're going to get a movie, and then you get some animated thrown in there. As a Star Wars fan who reads all the books as well, like that's a lot of Star Wars in a year. So I think that would be great. Get a movie a year, a show a year, some animated stuff every year. I think that would be eaten good at the Star Wars table.
Yes. Speaking of Star Wars as well, so Star Wars has got a galaxy full of pirates. And speaking of pirates, Star Wars Racer's Revenge for the PS4 apparently has the eye of PS5 hackers, as it could have the key to hacking the PS5. So as Resale Calendar outlines, PS5 hackers believe they found a jailbreak for the system's upcoming 12.0 system update. What does all of this mean? Basically jailbreaking for free stuff on the PS5 instead of paying for it. But the developers behind the jailbreak say that you'll need a physical copy of the 2019 Racer Revenge port to pull it off. This isn't unheard of, as earlier jailbreak methods have required a Blu-ray disc to access the proper exploit, and the Racer Revenge port has an issue that allows users to inject code into the system. This apparent code has got unpatched since the original 2002 release on the PS2. And obviously, whilst we're not condoning piracy of any kind, what we are saying is worth noting that physical copy of the game are now selling for hundreds and hundreds of monies. So if you have got one, my advice would be sell them fast and buy more Star Wars goodness with that cash. What's your thoughts
So-
on this? Go on, Charlie.
Race's Revenge was, especially specifically for the PS4, was a special release over in the US, the good old US of A, and there were only 8,500 copies put up for sale. So this is
Oh my
this is
gosh.
pretty rare. We've got like a digital copy for like emulating. Played it quite a few times. Do not have best believe I ran upstairs to check our PS4 collection just to see, just maybe. But alas, no, this is quite funny to me. I really enjoy that. Obviously, like the hacking community is like a whole other level, and they have been fighting the PlayStation 5 for years at this point. I think it's been out like over 5 years now, 5, 6 years, and they still haven't quite hacked it. And I love the idea that the hack for it just so happens to be in this really obscure little Star Wars game.
Jimmy.
I think this is insane. So, I mean, all right, I'm turning 50, so I'm the grumpy old man of the show. I mean, I've always been the grumpy old man of the show, but what? Like, how do you figure this out? Like, what in the hell is going on with people?
They're on it.
Take this energy, this intelligence, this drive, and use it for something good for mankind, for the love of God. Like, these guys could probably cure cancer. Yet here they are trying to hack the PS5 to save a couple quid, as you guys would say, and it's driving me nuts.
Jimmy, I don't want to pay $70 for a game. I'm sorry, I don't want to. It's
either.
ridiculous.
But I mean, what? Like, I don't even understand. Like, it's impressive what these people can do. I'm gonna give them credit. I mean, just having. I mean, like I said, I'm trying to plug in a new microphone, and it works exactly the way the old one did. Like, ooh, I hope I don't mess this up. But yeah, it's crazy. It's cool, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to do it all. I don't play enough PlayStation games. Like, if Star Wars game comes out, I'll buy it. You know, I'll get the two that are coming out, like we'll talk about. I want to get Avatar's game after I went and saw Avatar, but it was still like $30. I'm like, now wait. And then Indiana Jones is still like 60, and I'm like, I'll wait. But I'll just wait. I don't care.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyways, so
that's a fair point, mate. It's a fair point. And like I said, obviously we don't condone any form of piracy. Just because we've just started 2026 doesn't mean Santa's still not watching.
That's true. That's true. One thing you can't pirate is Lego. Now, you could build your own. However, Lego has started 2026 strong with 8 new sets being shown. In no particular order, we have BB-8 Astromech Droid, the Venator class attack cruiser, the AT-AT, which I have pre-ordered, and it was supposed to be here on Friday. And I'm not gonna. We're a family show, so I'm going to keep it PG. But I'm real mad because that was supposed to have come on the 1st or the 2nd, and now it got pushed back to the 8th. So I'm mad at Lego. The Mandalorian and Grogu speeder bike, which looks pretty cool. Cobb Vanth speeder bike, which looks really cool. Siege of Mandalore battle pack, the clone shock trooper mech, and Grogu's homestead. And again, I had pre-ordered that AT&T because it has Wedge Antilles. You hook up a little piece of rope to it, the tow cable, and it's flying around. I mean, Hoth is my favorite battle scene to this day. Just nostalgia wise, I know it's probably not the most, high tech or anything like that, but give me that battle scene any day, and to be able to recreate that and have that up on my desk or on my shelf or something behind me, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And the BB-8 Astromech to go with all my other droids.
Nice little selection there. I'm looking forward to that Astromech. It looks pretty good. There's a lot of movable parts on that, and that actually caught my eye. So yeah, the BB-8 probably I've got my eye on. What about you, Charlie?
Same. Again, I know you guys know this. I'm not a huge Lego fan, but I saw the BB-8 and was immediately like, wow, I need it. I need it to go with all of my other droids. I think I have a whole shelf of droids at this point. But yeah, definitely the BB-8 and also the Siege of Mandalore battle pack. I don't see the Siege of Mandalore like brought up enough, represented enough. So it's nice to see it in Lego form.
Yeah, all these sets are pretty cool. The Cobb Vanth one, like you get the Cobb Vanth Legos, minifig and all that kind of stuff. These are smart packs. Good way to start off the year. Lego's taking some heat because of prices and things like that. Some of that's my country's fault, but some good stuff. A good start.
It is, and they always give little things away, you know, for upcoming movie releases, like Grogu's homestead. Why is it not called the Mandalorian's homestead? Who knows? We'll see what 2026 has in store for us. Right, it's been a 2026. Let's head into this week's main show.
Goodbye, 2025. Goodbye, so long, farewell, and hello to 2026. And before we start, before we get stuck in, I just want to thank Jimmy, Jack, and I just want to thank you all for following us, supporting us, commenting, joining our Facebook group, joining our Discord, engaging with us on Instagram and all of our socials. It truly, honestly does mean the entire world to us here at Explore the Force. We couldn't be more grateful for the growth that we've had, and we're so excited to kickstart this new year with all of you.
Absolutely. As we look ahead to 2026, the galaxy far, far away continues to expand in bold and exciting directions. New stories, new heroes, long-awaited chapters promise to make 2026 landmark year for Star Wars, leading up to its 50th, obviously. The Force is strong in what's to come.
Yes, and as always, we asked for your most looked forward to project in 2026, and of course, you answered the call. So first up, then we've got a couple of shout outs. It's Matt from over on our Discord. He said it's a toss up between Maul and Ahsoka. Clone War style animation will forever be his favorite, and Ahsoka for Sabine and Shin. Kamal also said it's a toss up between season 2 of Ahsoka and Maul Shadow Lord. He said he was more hyped for the Mandalorian Grogu, but he's just not. But he's still going to go see it in theaters. And the last one from me is from Sid. She said, I'm probably most excited for anything Rey and Ahsoka season 2. I can't wait to see Rory McCann as Balon. His performance was fantastic in Game of Thrones. And of course, Shin and Sabine. So a lot of love for Shin and Sabine, and a great point there. Really looking forward to Rory McCann as Balon. What else have we got, Jimmy?
All right, Des Smith says, I'm most excited for Ahsoka Season 2, which we're going to get into that. Thrawn versus Akbar, Dathomir, etc. in one galaxy, and presumably Mortis-related stuff in the other. Potential to be something special. My opinion might change once full trailers are released for Mando and Grogu and Maul. So he's very excited for Ahsoka, but holding out. You can't, you got to wait and see these things. So I like that. I like that patience. It's excellent. Padawan. Jedi Master Eric says, I'm really excited to see Star Wars return to the theaters. Absolutely. That's one thing that's got me pretty hyped up. And a guy who loves Star Wars, Big Mike over there, gonna be a great year. Ahsoka season 2.
Nice.
Oh, heck yeah, it keeps going because you guys just could not stop. Johnny Tobin said, definitely Ahsoka season 2, but I am really hyped to see a new Star Wars movie on the big screen. Me too, Johnny. Taharoa said, oh, let's rugby scrum like more. And Ed's Flood said, I can't wait to hear turn off the flash, you moron, followed by, way. I mean, it's going to be, I don't want to know what absolute mania is going to be in those theatres when Star Wars drops. There's going to be popcorn flinging, seats are kicking, shouting, hooting and hollering.
Yeah, it's going to be something special. A lot of love for Ahsoka season 2 and more. So yeah, let's dive into how we're going to tackle this show.
All right, 2026 is starting off with a bang in January. We have one thing coming out. January 7th, Comics Hyperspace Stories Tide of Terror #4, written by George Mann, illustrated by Luis Morocco, Lebo Underwood, and Michael Attia. So these are pretty fun. This has been following Kit Fisto, I think his Padawan, I believe. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head now. I've read the other 2 or 3, and just some of the lessons that they're learning on the way. So this is pretty cool. Good start for comics.
I feel like it's a nice gentle start to the year because we move from January into February and it is getting seriously intense. We've got on the 3rd, we have the Outlaws DLC Low Red Moon. We've got a re-release of Solo, a Star Wars Story expanded edition in paperback. And we've also got the Art of Star Wars, The Acolyte, which I'm really excited for. I think this is such a beautiful cover. Just for people who are listening, if you want to switch over to the video version, we have a little slideshow with all of the pictures of various covers for you to look at because there is some gorgeous stuff here. Now, I'm actually most excited for the 11th because we are getting a currently titled Jar Jar #1. Very exciting. It is an upcoming canon one-shot comic book. The issue will be written by Ahmed Best and Mark Guggenheim and illustrated by Kieran McCowan and Laura Braga and published by Marvel Comics on February the 11th. The issue features Jar Jar Binks and Jedi Caloran Beck, and the summary says Jar Jar faces the consequences of Misa give emergency power to the Senate of powers of Chancellor Palpatine, and what pivotal role does Jar Jar play in the formation of the Rebel Alliance? Ooh. And then to round up the month, don't forget it's also Valentine's Day, so get your Star Wars presents in quick. On the 24th, we have the 236th issue of Star Wars Insider.
Nice.
Yes, looking forward to that. That's just the run up to the finale, obviously, because that's coming up to end as well. Right, March then. So beginning March, we've got Star Wars Fallen Order manga. Can't wait for a bit of manga. I love that sort of stuff. Then we've got the best stuff coming with Shadow of Maul, written by Benjamin Percy. Really excited for that. Also, we've got some High Republic Pathfinders as well, written by a good friend of ours and listener, George Mann, and illustrated by Partha Prater. This is set 20 years after Phase 2 of the High Republic. A brand new team of Republic Pathfinders is dispatched to a distant corner of the galaxy to investigate the strange death of a Jedi Master. Sound familiar? But as the team wades into a web of mystery, they discover not everything about this mission is as it seems. Shock, horror, can the team save the day and solve the Jedi mysterious demise? We've then, on the 12th, got Poe and the Missing Ship audiobook. Poe and the Missing Ship is a canon young reader's adaptation of Resistance pilot Poe Dameron's portion of the 2015 book Before the Awakening by Greg Rucka, and it is written by Nate Milissi. Is that how I pronounce that? This is when Poe Dameron and his faithful droid discover that the First Order has captured a civilian ship. Their lives are turned, quite literally, upside down. Exciting stuff. Really looking forward to the manga.
That'll be good. That'll be good. Quickly moving into April. This is where the Mando and Grogu hype train starts really cranking up. We got April 2nd, we got the Mandalorian visual guide. On the 7th, we got a ton of stuff coming out. And you guys can go and on Wikipedia, and if you type in like 2026 releases, a list of like everything if you want more specifics on some of this stuff, but a bunch of Mando stuff and Grogu stuff. The big push begins. The most important thing of 2026 comes out on the 28th. That is the Dad Jokes Strike Back. You know that someone in particular will be buying that. Galactic Drinks, which that's be nice, and Star Wars Insider 237. The final issue will be released, and that will be sad. I hope that we find out soon that someone else has picked it up.
And then a drum roll, please. It is May the 4th. We're going to have a brilliant time because on May the 22nd, we are getting the first Star Wars movie in theaters since The Rise of Skywalker. It's been 6 years, 8 years. It's some horrifically long amount of time. We are finally getting The Mandalorian and Grogu coming to cinemas. The majority of the story details are currently being kept under wraps, but we do have a generic plot synopsis as well as some details. Sigourney Weaver's Colonel Ward sends Din Djarin and Grogu on a mission in the Outer Rim, in which they find Rota the Hutt, voiced by Jeremy Allen White. We also know that some of the characters from Mando Season 3 are returning, including Zeb and some of the Imperial warlords that made up the Shadow Council. Something I didn't know about this, or if I did, I'd forgotten it. This film is an amalgamation of the ideas that they were going to put towards season 4, but because of the writer's strikes, they weren't able to get to the writing of season 4 as quickly as they wanted to. So it ended up being turned into this. So I am really excited to see how it all ends up kind of connecting and threading together. I am so excited.
Don't forget, May 24th, my birthday.
Oh yes, of course, very essential, very essential. I'm sorry I didn't put that into the slideshow.
Very essential. Brendan, I hope you're listening to that. Right, June the 2nd then, we've got The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith novels that are getting reprinted. And if you're watching on a visual of the screen now, The Art of Star Wars Andor. This is going to be huge. I think a lot of people are going to be buying this. I, for one, will be buying this. I absolutely love these visual books, but one thing I do love is the Andor visual. So super excited for this.
Yeah, so then July 14th, we've got Vision Tsukumo. Created to ruthlessly hunt and destroy Jedi, an Imperial assassin droid faces off against a mysterious Jedi Knight who will challenge the very nature of its programming. Following Order 66, the Empire's Jedi purge is in full swing. On a remote world, Imperial engineers have forged their most fearsome weapon yet, an assassin droid built for a single purpose, to ruthlessly hunt down the last of the Jedi. Among the survivors is a Jedi Knight, Nagi Tsukumo. Betrayed, poisoned, and on the run, he finds himself relying on two obsolete droids whose only hope lies in a fabled utopia where even machines might be free. But what awaits them at the end of the road, and when the assassin droid finally catches up to them, will its Imperial code drive it to kill, or will the Jedi's defiance shake the very core of its programming? Dun, dun, dun. I wasn't going to get this necessarily, but now I think I can. And Charlie has something she wants to read now.
We do. I'm really, really excited for this, by the way. I think it looks super, super interesting. However, this is the book that I'm probably most excited for this year. On the 21st, we are getting Eyes Like Stars by Ashley Poston, which is set just before The Force Awakens. When 18-year-old Arden Quay saves the life of a fast-talking wild spacer on Coruscant, she doesn't expect a thank you, and she certainly doesn't expect him to stow away on her father's Star Tour ship. Yet here he is, taking up residence in the ship's pantry and eating all of her favorite snacks. He's mysterious and coy and strange, with silver hair and eyes speckled with stars, and no matter how much she tries to pull away, she can't. She should report him to her father, but the stowaway soon convinces her that there's a nefarious plot at play on this ship, one that has the lives of everyone on board at stake. With the galaxy on the brink of war and the First Order breathing down their necks, Arden and her stowaway must ferry a precious artifact to its homeworld without getting caught or, worse, killed. This is actually a terrible time to take a tour of the galaxy and an even worse time to fall in love. I cannot explain to the two of you how much I am crawling up the walls in excitement for this. I have been waiting for some proper young adult romance fiction in Star Wars. Like, this is proper, like, genre writing. I'm so excited for this. I feel like it's going to be really fun and really romantic and really soppy and enemies to lovers and all of the tropes that I love. So, Jimmy, don't worry. I'll cover the review for this. You don't even have to stress.
Yeah, you might be reading that one. I don't know. The only thing that interests me is that the kid's last name is the name of Quay Tulsite, who's, the Pike Lord on Kessel. So that's cool. But I'm glad this is a book and not a show, because I feel like this would just cause so much trouble. Like, and I'm totally fine with it. I think in the first romance, whatever, but man, this is going to be something.
Oh, have some love and some whimsy and some joy in your hearts. Goodness me.
I
I'll
guess.
stick with the assassin droids and more.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, stinky, boring boys.
On the 28th, we got Star Wars Legacy by Madeline Rue. Set between Star Wars episodes 8 and 9, Rey and Leia embark on a quest to repair Rey's lightsaber and rekindle the legacy of the Jedi. After barely escaping the First Order on Crate, Rey and the Resistance are struggling to rebuild. Her friends need the Last Jedi more than ever, but Rey feels alone and overwhelmed. Jedi tradition is built on masters and apprentices, and Rey's teacher is gone. Leia Organa tries her best to train Rey in the ways of the Force, as Luke did for her so many years ago. But Leia's knowledge is limited, Rey's lightsaber is broken, and the specter of Kylo Ren and the regrets from the past haunt them both. How can Leia pass the torch when she herself is unsure of the way? But then the ancient Jedi texts offer a glimmer of hope, a long-forgotten Jedi temple on Tython, going back to Tython, that might hold the key to repairing Rey's saber. Rey leaps at the chance to journey there, and to her surprise, so does Leia. Rey and Leia's mentorship is put to the test when they discover that the Temple of Tython is filled with obscure clues to decipher and arcane trials to complete. As they work to unravel the temple's mysteries, they encounter a group of refugees living in its shadow, hiding from a First Order officer hot on the trail of two freedom fighters in their midst. With the threat of the First Order looming and the secrets of the temple yet to be unlocked, the newly forged master and apprentice must confront their past, reach each other in the present, and decide what it means to carry the legacy of the Jedi into the future. That's a lot. That's going to be a big book. I think this could go a long way. We'll talk about it later, I'm sure, but this is exciting.
Yeah, it's been interesting to go back to Typhon, obviously the planet that started all the Jedi stuff. Not sure they're going to get around the Force Nexus thing that was there. But yeah, no, this is going to be an interesting book for sure. August is we've just got loads more comics and reprints coming. Heading into September on the 1st, we've got the Phantom Menace, a visual archives. I've got the Return of the Jedi one of this, and it's amazing, so I'm definitely getting this. September 15th, we've got Reign of the Empire, Edge of the Abyss by Rebecca Roanhorse, set in the year before the first season of Andor, the sequel to The Mask of Fear. The second installment in the Reign of the Empire series follows Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and Saw Gerrera legend, along with their allies and enemies, 13 years after the events of The Mask of Fear, as they navigate the Empire's nigh unbreakable chokehold over the galaxy. Probably the biggest thing to happen outside of books and comics, films and shows is on the 22nd of September is the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art grand opening in LA. That is going to be huge. So make sure you look out for, I guess, tickets and what's going on with that. I'd like to go to that, but I'm guessing that's going to be super expensive as it is going to be next year anyway. But yeah, super excited for that.
October, November. Well, go ahead, Chuck.
No, so sorry. I know we'll get back around to this, but I'm just gonna super quickly run back to the Phantom Menace visual archive book. I need people to understand that this might be the most beautiful cover I have ever seen for something in my entire life. This is immediately on pre-order. This is going pride of place in that bookshelf behind me. That is absolutely breathtaking. Obviously, we know this is one of my favorite Star Wars films, but wow, look at that beauty. Look at it. A masterpiece.
Yeah, it definitely caught my eye.
It's
You'll
probably
need
my
that.
favorite.
You'll need to buy that. Everyone will need to buy that in September, because October, November, as of right now, have nothing whatsoever coming out. December, we got December 16th will be Rogue One's A Star Wars Story's 10th anniversary.
Mhm.
Look at that.
Well, that's nice. I've never seen it.
Wow.
It's the visual
I didn't know
archive
they
Return
were
of the
like a whole
Jedi.
set.
It's friggin'
Okay, I
huge.
need it.
Sorry,
I
Jimmy,
need
go on.
it.
Yeah, everyone should pre-order that. One, will make Charlie happy, and two, you'll need it to get through the next 3 months, because there's not a whole lot coming out as of right now. I do think some of those holes will be filled with some Star Wars goodness that we're about to talk about, because you notice we've missed out quite a few things.
Oh, yes.
So
We have. So everything on this little list is things that we know are definitely happening next year, but we don't have any kind of solid date for things. So we've got the possibility of another Tales of series. There's no official word about this yet, but judging from how 2024 and 2025 went, we may end up getting a press release in kind of early April announcing another kind of 6-episode limited animated series. May the 4th, Tales of quote unquote placeholder. There isn't anything concrete confirming this, but I'm guessing maybe not, given that there's quite a lot of animated content coming out this year. Speaking of animated content, Jimmy, what else have we got?
the Ninth Jedi, like we talked about at the beginning, with the big news of it being canon, which I'm sure this will, as we record this on a Sunday, this news came out on Saturday. That whole week will be filled with conversations about this. Hopefully we'll get some things, but the Ninth Jedi says another big reveal at Celebration was that following the success of Star Wars Vision's episode The Ninth Jedi, production IG not only developed a sequel episode that came in Volume 3, but was also a standalone animated series that would be released in 2026. That's all we really know right now. From my recollection at Celebration, I thought they said it was a one-shot 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
But again, so much happens that panel was challenging, because the only person that was speaking English out there was one of the vice presidents of Star Wars, and everything else, rightfully so, we're in Japan. I'm not opposed to that, but the translations that were coming up on the screen were so far behind that I wasn't sure exactly what was happening. But it's exciting either way. Like we're going to get 3 15-minute episodes or one 45-minute episode or whatever. Like I think that news is coming with the information we reported. What other animation do we have, Jack?
Yes, my most excited one is Maul Shadow Lord, one of the biggest announcements, if not the biggest announcement in my eyes, at Star Wars Celebration 2025 was that Lucasfilm was working on an animated series focusing on Darth Maul and set 1 year after the execution of Order 66, which is also the last time we saw him after he battled Ahsoka in Season 7 of The Clone Wars. Matt Mitchenitz is the head writer. Absolutely butchered your second name. I apologize for that. We don't have a release date yet, nor a lot of plot details. There was a trailer shown at the convention. It's obviously not been made public yet, but it confirmed he'll be taking a new apprentice under his wing. It's a red-skinned Twi'lek whose name has not been revealed. However, sources are pointing towards maybe a legend, it being Darth Talon. George Lucas reportedly once planned to make Maul and Talon villains of his discarded sequel trilogy, but we don't know if this will be replicated in the show. Super hyped for this. Obviously, what we do know is it's his criminal underground goings on. Yeah, wow. Cannot wait for this. Jimmy?
I would say that Jack, if you remember, she was actually pink.
Yep.
Remember, everyone's like, oh, they're just trying to throw us off that it's actually Talon. So I just wanted to point that out. Like the trailer we saw, this female Twi'lek was pink skinned, but we're pretty sure it's going to end up being Darth Talon. I'm not going to tell you. Jack, or Charlie, do you have something? I saw.
I am super duper excited for this. Jimmy, you are correct. She was pink, not red. I watched that leaked trailer back many a time. She's pink, not red. We have 2 video games coming out this year. No explicit release dates yet, but hopefully soon. We've got Zero Company with Bit Reactor's long in the making AAA game was officially revealed at Celebration Japan, but we haven't heard much about it since. We know it's set during the Clone Wars, a focus on an elite squad of characters fighting for the Republic. The team includes a Jedi, a clone trooper, a Mandalorian, an astromech droid, and Respawn Entertainment, who are responsible for the Jedi Fallen Order games, have been involved in the story writing. We saw a little bit of artwork, a few little bits and pieces at Celebration, but again, nothing concrete, but it is supposed to be coming out this year. And we're also supposed to be getting Galactic Racer, the follow-up to the classic Star Wars pod racing game. Yay!
Looking forward to that Zero Company. Hopefully it's like XCOM 2, so you're moving your units singly. If anyone's ever played that.
Yeah, I love turn-based games, just given where video games were at when I first started. So to be able to do this with Star Wars is pretty exciting. Galactic Racer is going to be awesome as well. We got that full trailer at the when did we get that? We got that just not too long ago, right?
Yeah, just before Christmas.
Yeah, just before Christmas when we had the announcements of the was it the fall of the Old Republic or the fate of the Old Republic, and Galactic Racer kind of slid under the radar there. And then the big one, of course, we've reported that some of these were left off the docket that was sent out by Disney, but Ahsoka season 2 story is currently being kept tightly under wraps. Like nobody knows what's going on. We know it will follow up of the ending of season 1 with Baylan Skoll, this time being played by Roy McCann, tracking down the Mortis gods in Peridia, where Shin, Sabine, and Ahsoka were also stranded. In the meantime, Ezra and Thrawn made their way back to their main galaxy. Showrunner Dave Filoni promised an all-out war in season 2 during Star Wars Celebration, adding the New Republic forces will be led by none other than Admiral Akbar. Hayden Christensen is back as well, though we don't know yet if only as a Force Ghost or in Clone Wars era flashbacks. Once again, a sizzle reel shown at the convention also confirmed Zeb will be reunited with the Rebels crew. In addition, recent interviews with supporting actresses playing the Night Sisters in the first season also confirmed that we'll get a lot more screen time with them in season 2. So yeah, we got a ton of stuff. I'm impressed they've kept this under wraps the way they have. You know,
yeah.
I don't really follow spoilers. Like I know there's people out there who make a living doing it. I don't follow any of them on our social medias. So I don't know what they've been saying, but you know, the stuff that we heard at Celebration sounds great. The little sizzle reel we saw with some of the some of the models and things like that looked fantastic. I mean, it got me hyped, and it was really nothing. So
No, I'm super excited. I was literally thinking the same thing as you as well then, where I am surprised that they've kept it under wraps as much as they can. You know, Doomsday stuff's leaking everywhere at the minute. It's like water in a sieve. But yeah, they're doing really well at the minute with the Ahsoka Season 2 stuff, not to leak that anywhere, which is obviously a good thing. So yeah, there's some of the projects, things that we've taken note of coming for 2026. Again, thank you to everyone for all the messages. Any more points on any projects that are coming out, guys?
well, I think now we're going to do our top 3 real quick, right? Like what we're most excited for.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. So, for me, right off the bat, and I kind of gave this away one, Zero Company, man. Like, I think Zero Company, I love a turn-based game. Like, I don't know why they're simple, but, some of my fondest memories of playing, I mean, there's still one for like the PS4 that I play on my PS5. Kind of messes around like a little bit with World War II in a weird way. But I love it. I'm super looking forward to it. I mean, there's Jedi, there's I think an Umbaran in that crew. There's droids. You have an astromech. I mean, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I don't care if it's canon or not. Like it's set off to like you're off doing a small mission. So it probably will be canon because it really won't affect much. You're just going to go off and have to save the day doing something, which I'm super excited for. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice. No surprise to absolutely anybody, but mine's obvious. It's been too long. It's been so long. Super hyped for all the more stuff coming this year. So not just the shelf, so we get the comic beforehand as well in the lead up. But yeah, more Shadow Lord for me. Cannot wait. More returning to the screen. Charlie, what about you? What's one of your most look forward to projects?
In the great words of Cilla Black, surprise, surprise, it's the Jar Jar comic.
This is called Jar Jar Binks.
He is, that's my boy. I feel like now I've gotten back into collecting Jar Jar Binks merchandise. Not only have I connected with more people and shared my love of Jar Jar. Shout out to the Phantom Menace 1999 Instagram account. You are the bomb. You're actually such a cool dude. I love getting to share my obsession with the weird little Gungan. Thank you. And not only the fact that it's a Jar Jar comic about his time during the Clone Wars and his time in the Senate, it's also co-written by Ahmed Best. So if there's anyone who's going to accurately put my favorite weird guy into a comic, it's going to be him. And I feel like we're getting these bits and pieces, like getting Keller and Beck in The Mandalorian and Grogu was more special than I had words for. I think I spent most of the rest of the episode unable to watch it because there were so many tears in my eyes. To see him welcomed back with such love and such passion and such adoration, and seeing these little bits and pieces. If by some miracle there is a Jar Jar cameo in The Mandalorian and Grogu, I think I will just lose my mind. I will just straight up lose my mind in the cinema. I will be throwing my popcorn at the screen. Just
Well,
Nice.
two possibilities, because he does show up in Aftermath series, so we know he's around. He's a broken clown performer. And two, Mark Guggenheim's the guy who wrote the Jedi Knight series that just came out and finished, and it was really, really good. So I'm really excited that Ahmad Best has teamed up with him. So that's a good choice. And that artwork with Kelleran down in the stands and then Jar Jar behind him, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So my second one was going to be probably I know we're not doing this in any order, but Star Wars Legacy, the book. Rey and Leia. Everyone knows I'm the big reader usually of this group. I'll be skipping one book probably this year, but I'll read it, Chuck, and I'll read it so we can talk about it, talk about our feelings and whatnot. But I think that this story with Leia and Rey is exactly what the fandom needs. And I know not a big portion of the fandom reads, like I get that, but this information will get leaked out. It'll get reported on, we'll report on what happens in this book. And I think this is a big start to rebuilding that relationship and trust with this character, and you tied her with Leia. I know we talked about this a little bit before, but you tie her with someone that universally, there's nobody out there that's a Star Wars fan that can say anything bad about the princess, right? The general, like you can't, like however you want to see her as the princess general, whatever. No one talks bad about her. So now you got her, hooked in with Rey, and I think that that story sounds phenomenal. Lots and lots of stuff happening. You could be setting things up for the Rey movie itself if they wanted to. Like you got tons of things. So I think that book is going to be huge moving forward for the character of Rey.
Yeah. I totally agree. And like you said, mate, we already discussed it. It's a smart move putting Rey alongside Leia, if you like. Good shout.
I'm so excited. I've not read many Star Wars books, but the ones that I have read are the ones that have involved Rey, and the way she is captured and represented in the novels is fantastic to me. It feels so authentic to her character, and mad respect to the people that have written about Rey, because you've done an absolutely fantastic job. And like Jimmy said, you can't go wrong pairing her with like everyone's most loved Star Wars character, and especially as we've just hit like the 9 years of it, like of us being without Carrie Fisher and without her, and anything to kind of celebrate her legacy and her character makes me unbelievably happy. So yes, I will be adding that to my reading list. Speaking of books, my second thing that I am the most excited for is Eyes Like Stars. I know. Listen, I know that like there's the book about Leia's wedding, and there's quite a lot of novelization stuff about Leia and Han's relationship, but who's writing vomit in the script? I can see you. Bad. I'm gonna get a spray bottle. Bad. I am I mean, if people are watching, you can see how many books are behind me. A huge portion of these books are YA, and specifically YA romance, because I am a big soppy sop sap for that sort of thing. I absolutely love it, and I'm so unbelievably excited to see that very specific genre of YA romance. And think like A Court of Thorn and Roses, think Heartbreakers, think I could keep going. I won't. I feel like this could be really special and really fun, and I'm super duper excited. And Jimmy, you will read it and you will hate it. I know this.
Well, this is what I
known.
don't understand. They're calling this the first romance novel, but we have Lost Stars, and that's all about the relationship of those two characters. How's this going to differ, do you think?
I think it's going to be a little spicier, a little more hot around the collar. Some lingering glances, some gentle touches, some caught in a storage cupboard.
Well,
It's going to be a bit.
They did mess around with that with Temptation of the Force in the High Republic with Azar and Elzar. So
I have been told
it gets steamy. I had to pull over on my way down to Texas, and like, whoo, goodness. So I'm not sure I can handle a book that's totally focused on that. All these
might be a little bit.
all these Star Wars nerds are going to be losing their minds. It's probably gonna be the #1 book in Star Wars history.
Yeah.
Right.
For all the wrong reasons.
My before Jimmy loses his mind any further, my second one. Awesome shout with all the comics, books, etc. But mine's a bit more of a personal one for me. It's going to be Star Wars Insider finale, wrapping up an amazing series and line. And a massive shout out to Mark Newbold, all the work that he's put into Insider magazine since he's been there. So I'm really excited to read that finale. So yeah, for me, Star Wars Insider magazine is going to be up there. Big shout out, like I said, to Mark Newbold, all his work and effort on that, and the team. Hopefully, it gets picked up and carries on under a different company or whatever. But yeah, for me, big shout out, Star Wars Insider. Right, third and final ones. What have we got? Who wants to start?
I'm not super excited for this, but I'm super excited for it, if it makes sense. Mando and Grogu movie. Like, I am not excited for the movie for some reason, and it's something I've been and I feel bad about it, but I'm super excited for Star Wars back on the big screen.
Yeah.
Went and saw Avatar Fire and Ash. I was pumped when I saw the trailer in 3D. Added a little bit of this and that into it. Looks good, looks fun. It could be a fun romp. And who knows? Like, I'm not going to pass judgment on this movie. I just don't feel like it's not, we have 3 seasons of the Mando, and it's kind of a campy, fun show. well, we just come off of Andor, but I'm excited for this to be back in the big screen. I hope that this proves to the Disney execs that movies belong, the Star Wars belongs in the big screen. So I am holding out hope that this movie is going to, knock my socks off more so than Eyes Like Stars. And, and so that, and it, kind of revitalizes the Star Wars community.
Yeah.
That'll be mine, because there's so many good things coming out, though. It's really hard to pick, because all the books, all the comics, like, Pathfinder is exciting for this High Republic. But yeah, I'll go with that.
Nice. Charlie?
Oh, so I'm doing like a 2.5, like a 2.5, and just dedicating that to the Mando and Grogu movie, because I felt like I can't go through this list without acknowledging that we are getting a Star Wars film in the cinemas. This is incredibly super duper 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 exciting. But the third thing I'm most excited for, and I really, really hope that I'll be able to go, is the opening of the Narrative Art Museum. Like, I did my degree at university in fine art. Art is a huge part of my life, and fine art specifically. And it's so exciting to me that this is like the baby of both like a traditional fine art museum and like a history of movie and theatre museum mashed together and overseen by some of the greatest creative minds that we have living in the world at the moment. And it, I really wish that I could articulate to everybody the excitement and screaming joy that is going on in my head, that this even exists, that the idea of this was even conceptualized into real life. And I sort of want to, I feel like I want to dedicate a whole episode to it again, because I feel like there's so much to break down. And if any of our listeners get the chance to go, we would love to have you on, just so I can pick your brains about it, just so you can talk us through what it's like and what it's like inside. Because I feel like the whole thing is set up to be an experience. It isn't just a museum that's been plonked. It represents so much more, and so much more for the community around it, and so much more for Star Wars and for Lucasfilm and art in general. And especially with the huge rise of AI and reliance on AI for creative process, I feel like a temple for real art, for true art, needs to be supported and celebrated and uplifted. So I'm unbearably excited. I really, really am.
Exciting times coming. Exciting times are coming. Final one for me is Ahsoka season 2, and obviously I haven't got a date or anything set in stone, but I am super hyped. And Sid said it right at the back in the shout outs. I'm super excited to see how Rory McCann does, taking over the legend that was Mr. Stevenson. God bless his soul. So yeah, I am like for Ahsoka season 2. Obviously the snippets that we saw at Celebration as well, Jimmy, even the trailer that he crafted together.
I mean, I guess I held off picking that one because we still don't know if it's coming. I think it probably will. Yeah. I'm holding out hope. So. I'm nervous for Balin. I think Rory McCann's an awesome actor, and I don't, but man, anyone who has to step into the role of somebody else, good or bad, I feel for him. It can be great. It could be better, but it won't be the same. You know what I mean? Like he could be better. He could be a better Balin Skull than Ray was, but he won't be Ray. And I hope that, just kind of, so yeah, I'm excited for it though. Like I really hope hear about it. We'll see. It'll be curious. It'll be a long waiting process to get some information.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Before we sign off, have we got anything else?
Wait. I need to know, everybody, what are your guys' Star Wars New Year's resolutions? I will start. My New Year's resolution for 2026 is to read a Star Wars book and stop complaining about the fact that I don't read them. I've never read them. I'm not going to read them. Me. I'm just going to sit down and read a Star Wars book. If anybody has any recommendations there we go.
I know a guy who knows a thing or two about the books.
I know a guy who knows a thing or two. Fantastic. Taylor, I'm going to drop you a message. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, get more into Star Wars reading. Jimmy, what is your Star Wars New Year's resolution? Tell me.
I am going to get our website. There's a couple things I want to add to it at www.exploretheforce.com. I want to get some stuff up there with the book reviews and some other things that we've talked about behind the scenes. And so that is going to be a big focus of mine moving forward. So that's
Nice.
my resolution, is to really push that.
Nice. And finally, mine is to get a studio sorted out. Now I've officially planted
Yay.
seeds, etc., whatever it is, roots in Canada. So now I've got the time, get something knocked up and look as fabulous as Jimmy and obviously Charlie does. Right. I think that is the first episode of 2026 wrapped up. Thank you to all our lovely listeners and viewers, as always, for all your comments. If you have any questions or you just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family, and to follow us on all our social media platforms. All you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you watch on YouTube, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Also, if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then head over to Redbubble. They're currently having a New Year's sale, and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And a massive thank you to everyone interacting with us via our social media. You keep this podcast amazing.
Finally, you've been listening or watching Explore the Force, and we have spoken. See y'all next week.
Bye.